Now, in our last demo, we tested NGINX through the CLI. We used curl localhost to confirm if NGINX was working and if it responded. However, that's from the developer engineer point of view. That's what you would do if you were trying to troubleshoot inside of this NGINX server. Now, what about the client? Notice that we didn't use the browser to confirm. And that's because we could have, but I wanted to talk a little bit about UFW for Ubuntu, which stands for Uncomplicated Firewall. And we already talked about what a firewall is and why it's important. So let's just quickly go over this diagram to show you what we're going to be doing. So on the left here, we have our clients. They're going to be connecting in through the internet. And in this system, we have an NGINX server running that has the welcome to NGINX default page. And we also have a Flask application. It's a very basic application. NGINX is running on port 80. We could run it on port 43, but we don't have certificates, so we'll stick with 80. And we have a Flask application that's running on 5000. Now, at the moment, because the firewall is inactive, we should be able to hit these endpoints from a browser. So let's go ahead to our terminal here. And you can test quickly by doing curl localhost, right? That's the NGINX. And if we do port 5000, which is where this Flask application is running, I should get a different response. And here we go. However, again, this is from the engineer point of view inside the CLI. But what about the users? I'm gonna go ahead and clear this. If I head back into the options for our labs, you'll notice that we have these 3 dots in here and we can click on view port. Now, if you want to view a port, you can just type in the port, right? So we're going to do port 80. We're going to open a port. There's welcome NGINX. And let's do 5000 for the Flask application. And there you go. That's it. It's as easy as that. However, this is not best practices. Best practices is we always enable our firewall and we only open ports that we need to. So in this case, let's open port 80 and port 5000. So the first thing I'm going to do is do sudo UFW status. And you can see here that it's inactive. So let's go ahead and enable that. So UFW enable. And what this does is we'll activate it and it will also enable it on startup. So when you restart, the firewall is going to be enabled. Now what we want to do is add our rules. So we'll do sudo UFW allow 80. It's a TCP. And we're going to go ahead and say yes to that. So now if we run the status command again, we only see 1 rule here. Well, 2 rules for the same port. Port 80 is allowing anything to come in from anywhere. You can see here that the action is allow and it's from anywhere. And it's coming from IPv6 and IPv4. So think of IPv6 if you had customers that are using their mobile, then this rule would be really important. So now let's go back into our other tab and test the view ports. So now let's test 80. This should work because we opened the port. And now let's 5000. And it'll just spin there. Now remember that it used to work before we enabled our firewall. So that means that our firewall is working as expected. So now if we want to open port 5000, we can do the same thing. Sudo UFW allow 5000 TCP. I'm going to clear the screen here, run the status again. And now we have 2 rules here. Well, 4 rules for 2 ports. I'm going to go ahead and test this again. Now we're going to test 5000 and it should work. I do want to mention that one of the ports here that you definitely must always add is SSH or port 22. And the reason for that is that if I was to exit this SSH connection that I have right now connected to this Alpine host, what would happen is that the firewall would block that request on port 22 because it's not part of the list. So let's go ahead and allow this. Now we're not going to test 22, but just to show you, we're going to do that. And let's run the status again. And now we have port 22, we have port 80 and port 5000. So that means that if we exit this connection, we can SSH back in and we should be able to. Now, I do want to point out here that making a website available on port 5000 is not a good practice. If you think of all the websites that you visit, google.com, facebook.com, it's always .com. There is no ports that you need to add. Now, our labs allow you to just, this is a backend thing, but this port 5000 right here, it's opening up without any ports needed added in here, right? And actually, it's in the DNS name, but if you can see here, we're going through HTTPS. Now, this is just in the way that our labs are configured, but rest assured, if you were to use something like example.com, you would have to pass in this port in order to see that. Now, it's important that you don't make any websites publicly available on anything that's not port 80 or 443, because a lot of people will not remember to add a port at the end, and you're just opening up any attacks that potentially can come to your server. So it's important that you only allow 80 and 443, which is HTTP and HTTPS. You allow 22 or SSH, but we can whitelist just particular IPs, for example, our VPN IP or specific users' IPs. So that way 22 or SSH is only open to the chosen few, but for port 80 and 443, we can definitely open it up to the public. Now you might be wondering, okay, well then how do I expose my Flask application if you're telling me to only open port 80 and 443? Well, I'm glad you asked that or you thought of that, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking in another module when we start talking about reverse proxy or load balancer, which is a feature that NGINX comes in. So for the moment, just remember, only open ports that you need, and always make sure that you enable your firewall so that your server can be secure. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.